Alert. Humanoid detected. Destroyed. Humanoid destroyed.
Hello all and welcome to Game On, our show to review and relive the games that we consider to have rocked our world. I shall be your host here, Simone, and today I'll be revealing my top 10 games of all time. Yikes. But first, Camera Angle 3, I must warn you that I'm an RPG fanatic, possibly due to my only child escapist syndrome, or because you're a downright nerd that needs to live life as an elf, or more simply, because for me, the RPG genre offers the most that you can get out of a game. All down to opinion though, I guess. Nothing's better. But quit your ramble, I hear you say, and let's get to it. So, to kick off the countdown where you'd all expect, I'm going to start with my number 1, Croc, The Legends of the Gobbos. Of course, I kid, but it is in at my number 10. Being due mainly to the fact it was the first game I got to sink my gamer claws into, excluding the likes of button bashing on Tekken and driving my car successfully into walls on Ridge Racer. Croc, with its heart-wrenching story of your adopted brethren race being kidnapped and it resting upon your tiny miniature reptilian shoulders to save them, was the first of many yet to come. With its quirky puzzles, intense boss battles, and overall rather eerie and silent interior, I believe it was a commendable adventure for any 6-year-old to experience. Okay, next at number 9, and hopefully earning me a bit more street cred, is Spyro 2. A purple fire-breathing dragon with a matching fiery Mohican. What's not to love? Or find particularly attractive? But we'll talk about my scaly preferences another time.
Whoa, rough landing.
This game was the beat, with vivid, entertaining worlds, whimsical characters with overly expressive eyes, and a whole theme park at your disposal should you collect enough orbs to open it. I can't think of a flaw with this one.
Flaw? No. This follow-up to Spyro's first adventure by Insomniac Games follows straight on after our hero defeats Nasty Nork and decides that he and his pal Sparks need a holiday. Unfortunately for him, some meddling do-gooders in the summer forest have other ideas and intercept him, dragging him into dealing with their problem, Riptor. Spyro Riptor's Rage 2 is an amazing game, and one that many players, old and new, keep coming back to time and time again. Unknown to everyone is how they saw fit to retain the congenitally aggravating dragon thief egg things that just keep going around going, na.
Thanks, Rob.
First one, atmosphere. Without a doubt, it's got to have atmosphere from the start. No heavy tutorials. I'm not interested in which button's which. I want to find it out myself. I want to. It's the same as when you watch a film or you start a good book. That first chapter, it's got to capture you. It's got to make me feel like I want to carry on playing.
The show must go on. It's not like we're out of this yet.
I think you'd better take a look at this.
What is it?
No.
My next point probably is going to have to be art style. I'm not talking photorealistic graphics here. I'm talking something that suits the feel of the game. Something that you can keep looking at something and seeing the animation moving. You can see things in the background, the scope of the whole game. It's got to look beautiful, whether that's photorealistic or 8-bit blocky graphics. If it suits the feel of the game, then it's definitely going to be there. Next has got to be the story. It's completely obvious, but there's got to be a story binding everything together, all the characters. Keep it simple initially, bite-sized chunks. I don't want to know that this is, I've just got to capture the princess. I want a little twist in there. I want to go off on tangents and meet new people, but the story's got to bind everything together.
Drama. Okay, at number 8 is Fable Lost Chapters, the first game that actually genuinely made me do a real out loud gasp. But our show is not planning to include spoilers. No. However, if you haven't played the game, I will let you know that you can kick chickens. That's not a chicken. Believe it or not, though, that is just a minor factor of what makes Fable a fantastic game. Alongside its immense story, vast open world, another point that I can fit into my 30-second slot is the alignment system, getting judged for your actions as simply good or evil. All common features of RPG games nowadays, however, Fable was ahead of its time, and I believe still better than most out there. Now, avert your evil glares, Deus Ex lovers. I am fully aware that this game is classed as horse manure in comparison to its original, but I've never played it, so what are you going to do? For me, it was the first real challenge of an in-game story narrative, basically meaning I had no idea what to do. I thought I'd been abandoned and was left lost, alone and angry. But in turn, this is what makes Deus Ex Invisible War my number 7. The ability to truly mould your own world and leaving you thankful for such maneuverability in your 1 in 4 choice ending. Okay, in at number 6 we have Banjo-Kazooie. The title alone catapults me back to joyous memories of an over-exaggerated world that only a child wouldn't question or suspect heavy drug use in its creation. But I don't feel like words alone can depict it, so let's get visual. Oh, don't do that. Slide, Banjo, slide. All right. Fly, Banjo, fly. Oh. Excuse me, Mr. Tombstone.
The next one has got to be the addicting factor. I've got to be addicted. I've got to have that feeling that I'll just go into that one last room. I know I found the safe point. I know it's took me an hour to find it, but I just need to have a look what's behind that door. 2 hours later, the birds are tweeting outside your door. It's time to go to bed, but it's got to be addictive.
Once upon a time, I had somebody that I cared about. And in this world, that sort of is good for one thing. Getting you killed.
Controls, all important controls. I want an extension of my hand. I want it to feel responsiveness when I'm touching those buttons. I want to be able, when I press jump, I want to jump, and I don't want somebody constantly telling me from start to finish that I need to jump to do this, press X to open the door, blah, blah, blah. Yes, can't be doing with that, but controls, big factor. I'm also looking for a game that's rewarding. I want to feel like there's a real reason for me to carry on playing this. I want new parts of the map unlocking. I want new moves. I want new bad guys to fight, and I want the bad guys to reflect my ability as well. If I'm stronger and I've got more energy, I want a stronger enemy to fight.
Completely agree. Now, of all the aforementioned games and my countdown, GTA will probably be the most known, therefore needing the least of an explanation, but I'm going to give you one anyway. Now, let me specify that San Andreas is my golden boy. People will argue Vice. I get it, I don't care. People will say, where's Trevor? Valid, again, I don't care. I loved my mother thugger, CJ. The game felt like it went on forever and I was left feeling completely satisfied.
You know something, Tay, your top 10, right? It's all right, but like, check this, right? My top 10. Shenmue, absolute classic game on the Sega Dreamcast, broke Sega, made by the guy who made Virtual Fighter. Oh, okay.
Shenmue.
Number 9, Mass Effect Trilogy. Made me cry, the ending, brilliant game. Okay. Number 8, Last of Us. Don't like zombies, not bothered about horror, but I like story. Absolute Oscar-worthy winning performance. Yeah, any good? All right.
I need something smuggled out of the city. It's just cargo, Joel.
I just want some simple gear, enough to set me on my way.
I reckon it's got something to do with that girl.
It's got everything to do with that little girl.
Number 6, Half-Life 2. Wow, what a world. Introduced interactive storytelling without the need for narration. 5, Pac-Man. Absolutely brought games into the public eye.
Halt! Game challenge time.
Here we go. Oh, good start. No pressure or anything to hear. That red one's coming for you. Oh, dead already. What was your score? 1,480.
And here we go. Confident start. More enjoyable to see them fall. Go on, Brady. Damn it. Oh, are you? Are you now? Oh, not make it to the end.
That's it. 4,670.
Okay.
Winner! Winner! Well, number 6, Skyrim. Getting lost in the world. I put over 120 hours into that. You like that one?
I do.
Okay.
Resident Evil.
Next game, Resident Evil, the original on PS1. Oh. Really bad voice acting. Even though I said I don't like zombies, that's the only... Okay.
Captain Wesker, where's Chris?
Stop it! Don't open that door!
Third to last, in other words, third. Number 3, Metroid Prime on the GameCube. Come on, no? It's like open world, first person. Oh, okay. Number 2, Tomb Raider. No, nothing to do with Lara Croft, just a magical open 3D world where you felt lost, alone, against the elements.
I'll give you that.
You like that one?
Yep,
okay. Number 1, best game of all time, Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Are you kidding me?
You are, no.
Zelda? I don't like your hat.
What? Zelda Ocarina of Time? It's an absolute must, a classic. If you haven't played that, you don't know anything about gaming.
Leave. Get back to your job. Go on. Zelda.
Alert. Humanoid detected. Detroit. Humanoid countdown into Detroit. Alert. Humanoid.
And welcome back. Okay, so in at number 4 we have Telltale's Walking Dead Season 1. Now, Walking Dead, unless you're a platypus, who in which case, kudos for watching, my fellow mammal, probably doesn't need that much of an introduction. However, if you haven't played a Telltale's title, if you are quite keen on your interactive action adventure genre, then it's time to prepare your defibrillators, folks. It's cardiac arrest time. Telltale's Walking Dead treads a very similar trail to the series, yet cleverly disguised as main plot holes, meaning that the unaffiliated can watch without fear. Its gameplay does feature your generic click and point, however, when mingling within the survival horror territory, one suddenly becomes a little less heavy-handed with one's clicking twitch, and are at times left actually wishing they didn't have to click at all. With a concept that we could have imagined most companies to have headed down the utmost realist route, Telltale's incorporated stunning cel shading to partner its heavily emotive and personally tear-jerking story, a bold move that's paid off, making them, and more specifically Walking Dead Season 1, a more than worthy top 5 entrant.
Officer. Don't make me do this!
Making them, and more specifically Telltale's Walking Dead, a more than worthy top 5 entrant. Terrifying. Uh-oh. Okay, to start off my top 3, we have the Mass Effect trilogy. Trilogy, I hear you say? You're a cheat, woman. Ah, you caught me, Sheriff, but genuinely, it is so difficult. I can cancel out Numero Dos as well. That gameplay felt way more restricted than the others, but still, we have to decide between 1 or 3. 1 or 3. 3. At my new desk, I've decided 3, with its merits being that I got to see the whole new world inclusive of the impacts I'd created previously, and was granted the opportunity to create a whole lot more. Although the ending could seem somewhat offensive to all the hard work you'd put in, this game was still a knockout. A roller coaster I got to ride with characters that I would happily trade my own friends for. The Mass Effect 3 story is hands down one of the ultimates, hooking you in and not allowing any room for your little amphibian self to wriggle away. But alongside an awesome combat system, it actually means you are more than happy to get caught in the first place. An absolutely stunning world, accompanied by beautiful sci-fi-esque harmonic sounds, minus Commander Shepard's female voice. I would say it is a must to own all 3. However, I will grant today's 3rd place crown to the trilogy's finale, Mass Effect 3. And so we are at the number 2 spot. Oh, precious building stakes are getting high. I feel like I need a checklist. Okay, so Immense story, check. Expansive world, check. A plausible upgrading modifying system, check. Liam Neeson, quadruple check. Yes, and therefore demanding my number 2 spot, it has to be, in case you couldn't tell, Fallout 3. Although intense character personalisation and interaction is usually my cage rattler, Fallout 3 is still not the ball out of the park with its magnificent array of quirky missions and matching magical misfits. And to its credit, it did assign me my own vault job with its fantastic little goat test, which in no way at all prepared me for what lay waiting outside that vault. It's a story that kept me itching to find out what happened until, well, I eventually did, and whilst in my opinion not its finest hour, again no spoilers, the amount of time it took me to get there and the heaps of stuff I still hadn't even discovered made the whiplash in that car crash feel a little less painful. A frankly terrifying post-apocalyptic world crawling with crazed super mutants, ravaged raiders and the nastiest mole rats you ever did see. Fallout 3 will probably not be in my top 50 places to visit, maybe 51, however my gameplay hours would beg to differ. A game I could never simply just put down due to there being a massive content I had to discover. Fallout 3 should be deemed as royalty amongst game players everywhere.
War. War never changes. Since the dawn of humankind, when our ancestors first discovered the killing power of rock and bone, blood has been spilled in the name of everything from God to justice to simple psychotic rage. In the year 2077, after millennia of armed conflict, the destructive nature of man could sustain itself no longer.
Knights of the Old Republic is a masterpiece, a prodigy to which I will always compare games to, and leads me on a forever hunt to find one that captivates me in the same way. A humongous world in which no mission seemed minor enough to be labelled as one I could just come back to later, and with a morality compass that if literal would have weighed a ton and left me pause what seemed a lifetime in agony over what decision to make. What do you mean my companions will leave or try to kill me if I make this choice? This game just had it all. Speaking of companions, Knights of the Old Republic, or KOTOR, alongside Mass Effect, incorporates some of the most intricately executed personalities, some of my most memorable being Bastila and her pressure and perfection issues, and HK-47, the badass abrasive assassination droid who I could never feel comfortable leaving out of my party.
This pathetic planet from the face of the galaxy.
The Force fights with me!
Get on those gun turrets!
Bring her to me.
All Republic forces, pull back!
It is too late to retreat, Admiral. There is no escape for us. You are strong, child, but I will break you.
I'll never fall to the dark side.
This is but a taste of the dark side.
Creating this list was a taxing task indeed, and if I'm honest with you, one that will probably change come tomorrow, as the games that I've left out still haunt me at night. Though I fear no shadows of doubt when it comes to my number 1, as way back when in 2003, it cemented its place in my little gamer heart.
Don't let me move.
Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, there we go. I haven't even have to take the Oh, yeah, we're
well ahead.
There you go. There we go. You didn't even get to finish.
Great.
12 is okay.
Okay, and that brings it in quite nicely. Breaks off then, guys. Okay, crunch time.
KOTOR at the top.
Definitely.
I think that's a win.
I think Mass Effect in there definitely deserves to be there too.
Yeah, Mass
That is in the top 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised by Mass Effect. Another big one for BioWare.
Yeah, I'd have had Mass Effect in my top 5, I think. Yeah.
You think 3?
Fantastic. Top 5 at least.
No, but Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, I like Mass Effect 3 because the ending, even though it's controversial, like it made me shed a tear, little tiny nerd tear.
Backwards reaction.
2. 2 was the best one.
Oh,
Hands
okay.
down. Yeah.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I said 2. You don't even like it, do you?
Played the first one. Not for me. Not for me.
No.
Not for me. No. No. One day I'll sit down and lose my job and, and just play all 3. But GTA San Andreas, without a shadow of a doubt, it's a fantastic game. I'll give you that one. I'll give you Banjo-Kazooie.
Lovely. Okay. Keep it coming.
That's generous of you.
Then we're
stopping there.
scraping the barrel. Telltale, the Walking Dead one.
Oh, Telltale, yeah.
Walking Dead, definitely.
One of the
The
most
first
atmospheric
season
ones.
is just amazing. The visual cel-shaded style, love it. I absolutely love
Yeah,
it.
it's nice to see something a bit different, actually.
Yeah.
It feels like realistic with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
watching an
Yeah,
obvious
like
cartoon,
it's
you're
definitely a game, a video game, but you're still engaged with the characters because they are so believable.
Yeah, definitely. I think in terms of like art style as well, I think the Fable stuff really good. Different from the kind of norm, so it's nice to see something a bit quirky in its art style.
Yeah, I feel like the Fable's underrated.
Yeah, I think it's underrated.
Yes.
It like
The first one, yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of the sequels.
Oh, the sequel's
I want
probably
more
the
than
most
them.
popular ones. Fable 2. But Fable 1 was one of the first ones to do morality system, wasn't it? And
Yeah.
you actually
Yes.
changed the way
Yeah.
you looked, didn't you, based
Yeah.
on the decisions. Like, respect for that.
Any that people did not like.
I think it's a very personal thing with 3D platformers to see 2 3D platformers in the top 10 list, and you don't see a Mario or even a Sonic on there. It was startling. But Mario 64.
Not your top 10 though, is it?
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I don't even like platformers, to be fair, but Super Mario Galaxy, I finished that. I loved that.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
I'd put that as my top.
I'm rubbish at platformers. GTA, that's like I wouldn't have a GTA in my top 10.
You
personally.
wouldn't?
I think that it's pretty casual.
Yeah, I think I'm going to say I agree with you. I enjoyed it. I sunk some hours into it, but I wouldn't put it in my top 10.
Does anyone want to throw out their number 1? Does anybody want to go there?
I think my number 1 reflects yours. It's got to be KOTOR.
Beautiful mirror.
Same company and say Dragon Age.
You know what? That was a contender.
Nowhere near enough
sorry.
Pokemon on
Feel
this
free to
sofa.
contact us, by the way.
Near enough Pokemon on this sofa. Fire Red, and I'm a Charmander fan.
My favourite game, Zelda: Ocarina of Time.
Oh, yeah.
Wind Waker's on
Classic.
My favourite Zelda's not in 3D. It's got to be top-down Link to the Past as far as I'm concerned.
Wait. Fallout 3.
I mean, I liked the game. It was good, but I found that it dragged on a little bit for my liking.
Yeah, Skyrim knocked Fallout out for me because I thought they were so close. I didn't want both in my top 10, but
I understand that. But I had to go for Fallout just because it was first.
You pretty crappy adverts. They go like that.
Nintendo's great for parties.
Even Dad can play.
Everyone's gone. Thank God. Thanks for watching. Thanks to our guests. I've been Taya Simone, and this is Game On.